Okay, so today we're going to look at KDE Neon, and if you haven't heard before of KDE Neon, KDE Neon is the latest of KDE's software that's packaged on a rock-solid base. And yes, as you can see, I can read what the website says. Jokes aside, though, what it is, it's essentially the latest KDE software on a rolling release, and it's actually put on Ubuntu's LTS edition. So in this case, it'll be Ubuntu 22.04 with the latest version of KDE. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm running the live distro. So first thing we're going to do is a quick install, and then we're going to take it for a spin. So as you can see, this is the Calamari's installer. Let's just select LA, default, erase the disk. That's fine. Gosh, VM Neon, a strong password, and hit install. Okay, so I'm going to let this install, and I'll come back once it's moved forward. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is fix the resolution. Also going to apply the dark theme as well. Let's go to display. Okay, so of course, straight out the box, you get the Welcome to KDE Plasma. That's on a bunch of distros now, telling us about the default applications at this point, managing software Discover. We don't want to share data with Plasma team. We can add a new account, an open desktop account, Google, Nextcloud, OwnCloud, and how to get involved, etc. So first thing, of course, to look at here is about the system. So we're using the latest KDE Plasma software, which is on version 5.27.8, the frameworks 5.110.0, and Qt 5.15.10. and using kernel 6.2. And of course this is running on a Ubuntu 22.04 base. So looking flat out of the box, KDE Neon is for the person that wants to run the latest KDE type of software, but wants a base that's pretty stable. So hence they've gone ahead and chosen Ubuntu. So yes, in a way, it is an alternative to running Kubuntu if you find that the software in Kubuntu is a little bit outdated. Taking a look at it, it's still, it's Ubuntu at heart. So all the traditional commands and everything's going to work. And as you can see, it's still jammy. And taking a look here, sudo apt upgrade. Okay, so because it's KDE Neon, you have to use a different command to update. So in this case, it is pkeycon update, and the system will check if there's any new updates, which in this case, of course, there isn't. So the reason you have to use pkeycon update is just on the way, is ensuring that the entire KDE framework gets updated at the same time. Let's do neofetch. Okay, so sudo apt install neofetch and htop. So I'm just going to install both of these quickly. Okay. So at the moment the system is using a very little amount of memory. It's using about 913 megs of RAM, which is really not much and really quite streamlined. As time's gone by, KDE's definitely gotten a lot lighter than it used to be. And of course, as you can see here, it's just KDE Neon that's running in the background. Default application was really not much. Under development, Kate, graphics, Gwenvu, Ocular, Internet, Firefox, multimedia, VLC, Office, no Office package installed, which you can add yourself, but it's a bit of a pity. That really makes it super lightweight. Utilities, really not much, just Arc, emoji selector, etc. So let's look at the software side. So I'm going to open up Discover, and okay, I don't know, unable to load applications. That's interesting. Wonder why it's doing that. It's definitely connected to the net. Let's make double sure. Okay, so yeah, internet does load. And of course here, as you can see, Flatpaks are enabled. So if we go to settings, they've made flat hubs available, right? Let me rephrase, they've made Flatpaks available through the FlatHub store, which appears could be made default if you select. The additional sources, of course, come from all of KDE's own sources as well as Ubuntu sources. So if we go looking at software, so let's say internet, and let's do something like Flurp browser, whatever that may be. Oh, it's a Firefox-based browser. Okay, so this just says install, but it's by default a Flatpak. Let's look for another bit of software that might not be a Flatpak's evolution. Right, it's also Flatpak. So everything by default on here is Flatpaks. And of course, if it's not a Flatpak, then it will be in the Ubuntu repos, essentially. I guess you could go and enable Snap support if you wanted to. But yeah, this is a great way to really use KDE with an Ubuntu base with more of the latest software, with having not having to worry about snaps and anything else around that. So it's how easy it is to install something. So I'm just going to choose the most random thing I can think of. So it's Office and it's Obsidian. I'm just going to do an install and let it quickly download. I must admit, this newer edition of Discover definitely seems to be a bit more stable. I can see it's 5.27. I always generally struggle with Discover. It's never been my favorite software manager, should I say. I always tend to find it a little bit unstable. So it's great to see in this short little bit of time it seems to be stable, but again, it's not long enough to really make a determination. So when's the next updated version of this OS going to come out? Well, when the next updated Ubuntu LTS comes out, which will be 24, 04, I believe, will be the LTS edition, and of course, after that, a lot of Linux distros, not only Neon, will rebase themselves to the newer Ubuntu base. Okay, well, that installs. Looking at out-the-box wallpapers, really not much of a default selection offered here, but again, you can always go and get your own wallpapers if you so wish. Okay, Obsidian is still downloading. Okay, so it should have finished installing Obsidian, so let's take a look. And Office, Obsidian, and yeah, it seems to be working fine. So there we have it, folks. There's really not too much really to talk about when it comes to this distro. Who to use it, you really like KDE software, you like the stability of Ubuntu LTS uses you, but you want packages that are more up-to-date than Ubuntu, then KDE Neon's for you. Bear in mind, it can be a little bit of a test bed for KDE, but if you don't mind, why not go ahead and try it out. Folks, as always, thanks for watching, leave your comments below, and bye for now.